Whilst the location for tonight's game has seen a last-minute switch due to a certain Storm Christoph, the premise remains the same. A win for one of these sides here tonight brings them a step closer to a date with Wembley and a chance at FA Trophy glory. Leamington will have no complaints of the change of venue, with the Breaks being unbeaten on their home turf in their last 8 games here on Harbury Lane. Meanwhile, tonight's opponents, Kettering Town, have won only 2 games on the road this season, one of them coming in this competition against lower league opposition. So, moments away from the 4th round proper of the Buildbase FA Trophy, the Poppies up against the Breaks, and a chance for one of these sides to take a step closer to that Wembley arch with a date with Hereford. Storm Christoph has had his say on the fixture, but the magic of the trophy has pulled us through, and Leamington have the chance to reach the round of 16 for the 2nd consecutive season in a competition where anything can happen. Early opportunity for Leamington then to load that box with bodies, and Stefan Morley will look to cause some chaos inside that penalty area from the set piece. Lane is arriving at the back post, and Waldron on hand to turn in for Leamington. Just 30 seconds on the clock, and it's Leamington who put themselves right in the driving seat with the first chance of the game. Well, Stefan Morley's free kick got caught up in the wind, causing chaos in the Kettering penalty area. Jack Lane was the man who provided the cross-across goal with the instep, and Danny Waldron was on hand to sweep home for his 3rd of the competition, and it's Leamington who have the dream start here in the 4th round. Kettering 0, Leamington 1. Weaver then restarts play with the goal kick from his 6-yard box up towards Edwards, who wins the header inside. Storer will beat Waldron to the ball, but Waldron will not give that up and give Storer something to think about towards his own goal. And Waldron, his persistence has paid off. He's robbed Storer of the ball in the periphery of the penalty area. Edwards now can't get the ball out of his feet as he's surrounded by a cluster of Kettering shirts. Meredith squeezes out to Clark, who pulls the trigger, and it just trickles wide of Collins' right-hand post, and the Kettering Town goalkeeper wasn't sure there, but good persistence, good determination from Danny Waldron, and Kettering are making problems of their own doing at the moment. Collins up towards the centre circle. Edwards challenging with McGrath, and McGrath just yanking back his counterpart captain, Jack Edwards. It'll be a free kick to Leamington. Just a bit of hustling-tussling on the edge of the penalty area, and the referee wants to talk to McGrath, who's voicing complaints about something. Oh, and McGrath's lashed out there, and he's not happy about something, and the referee produces the yellow card. And McGrath is still voicing his complaints to Adrian Quelch, the referee, and Quelch has heard enough, and the yellow turns into a red, and McGrath just cannot keep his mouth shut and has talked himself into an early shower with a 2nd yellow card. He's still remonstrating the dismissal. The referee's told him to get off the pitch. He's told him his marching orders. McGrath now handing the armband over, and he's really not happy with something. The Kettering Town captain having to be ushered away by the Leamington players. And well, he's just shot his team in the foot there, hasn't he, McGrath? The captain dismissed. And well, he's still remonstrating the dismissal as he marches towards the tunnel, the Kettering Town captain, who should know better. And well, here's the first instance. You just cannot animate a lash out of the referee like that, not in the modern game with cameras all around. And Quelch produces the yellow, and is soon tired of McGrath's complaints and turns the yellow into a red, and it's gone from bad to worse for Kettering. A goal down and now a man down in the opening 10 minutes, and an absolute mountain to climb for the remaining 80. Storer with the throw-in. Kettering Town with it all to do now. Storer turning away from May, looping it in behind the Leamington defence. Perry's picked up in the penalty area. Here's Hughes, deflected up in the air. Weaver has to be careful, and just bundled into his own goal by Hughes. And a clear foul for the referee to give. Limited complaints from Liam Hughes. Kettering trying every trick in the book to get back on level terms. Leamington free kick. Josh Martin hoisted into the penalty area. Edwards is up, and Edwards buries the chance into the bottom corner, and may have just sunk any hopes of a Kettering Town fight back. Jack Edwards rising highest in the penalty area to bury a powerful header past a helpless Colin, and Leamington taking full advantage of the man advantage almost immediately and find themselves 2 goals to the good in the 4th round of the FA Trophy. Absolutely no chance for Colin as Edwards picks up his 3rd goal of the campaign, and it's a clinical header from the captain. Leamington 2-0 and cruising. Leamington free kicks about 30-35 yards from goal, just left of centre. Stephen Morley stanging over this very purposefully. He might go for it himself, does so, and forces Colin into the save down to his right hand side. Well, that moved all over the place, didn't it? Stephen Morley trying to take full advantage of the weather conditions in this first half. Meredith, it's deep towards the back post, over Colin, and oh, it's in! Well, I'm not sure who got the final touch, but Leamington won't care. They've got a 3rd, and Jack Lane was looming at the back post, but the congratulations are going to Dan Meredith. I think we'll leave that one to the dubious goal panel to decide. But Kettering are falling apart here. They look shell-shocked, they look lost at sea, and the dream of the Wembley Arch is quickly turning into a nightmare on Harbury Lane for the Poppies. 30 minutes gone, and Leamington lead by 3-0. And this one, well, Jack Lane claiming it, Dan Meredith claiming it, but the Breaks, with their foot on the gas, look to be cruising into the round of 16 for the 2nd consecutive season. Kettering 0, Leamington 3. Leamington oozing with confidence now. Edwards flicks on. Fryatt meets it with his head. Edwards brings it down. Oh, heavy challenge there from Richins. Edwards, to his credit, gets back up. Waldron skips past a cluster of Kettering Town bodies, looks to guide it into that far corner, and again Adam Colin forced into the save down to his left hand side and forced to turn the ball around the post. Well, Danny Waldron really turned on the afterburners there, didn't he, leaving a cluster of Kettering bodies in his wake, and just you can see what he's trying to do, trying to guide it into that bottom left hand corner, but Colin level to it this time and got a big left hand on it to turn it round his left hand post. And he keeps the score at 3-0. Waldron so close to grabbing his brace. Meredith then with a corner from the right hand side. Can Leamington nick another one just before the break? It's recycled to Meredith. He gets a second stab at the apple and almost lobs Adam Colin. Almost deja vu there for Dan Meredith. This time just couldn't make the ball bend and dip enough at the last minute. He caught out Colin again all right, but this time the crossbar was there to save the goalkeeper's blushes and just ricochets and bounces back into the north bank. A wry smile from Dan Meredith, who was so close to picking up his 3rd of the competition after his single goal already tonight. Meanwhile, Kettering might have a chance to give themselves a lifeline at the end of this first half. In it goes. It was Fryatt rising, and that was heading goal bound and had to be dealt with by Jake Weaver, who punches over his own crossbar. Well, Kettering Town are not out of this yet, are they? The 10 men of the Poppies still threatening. And we kick off for the second half here at 10:30 p.m. after a floodlight failure at the community stadium has led to a lengthy delay in play, as Edwards picks up the loose ball and is scythed down immediately by a heavy challenge from Connor Kennedy, which leaves the Leamington players up in arms. Well, the Kettering camp were getting very restless with the delay with the floodlights, and that is a dangerous challenge born out of frustration from Connor Kennedy, the centre midfielder. The referee just trying to calm each set of players down as he looks to produce the yellow card for the Kettering Town midfielder. Edwards just picking up the ball, and oh, that is a nasty one, isn't it? The stud's up on the outside of the ankle. Edwards is a lucky man to walk away from that with just a minor limp. And equally, Kennedy may be a lucky boy to walk away with just a caution. Edwards just voicing his complaints to the referee about the danger that challenge presented. Weaver with the goal kick then, high into the floodlights. It's met by the head of Richins. Morrison is there for Leamington. May battling with Richins. Richins strikes from distance, and an audacious attempt, a very audacious attempt indeed from Michael Richins, the stand-in Kettering captain, which Jake Weaver has nothing to worry about as it flies harmlessly over and wide of his goal. Anderson doing really well to hold off the challenge of Johnson and sweep it out wide to the advancing Dan Meredith, who's had a very good game this evening. Joe Clark. Martin just felt something was left on him there, but does really well to fight back and win back possession. Anderson looks to return it to Josh Martin and is just taken out on the edge of the penalty area by Connor Johnson, who will be the most recent man to go in the referee's notebook. The referee might need a pencil sharpener with all these names that he's taking down in his second half. And Connor Johnson will be on a tightrope for the remainder of this second period, just completely clattering into Cameron Anderson on the edge of the penalty area, and the centre-back can have no complaints about that caution. Stephen Morley, is it second time lucky for him? This one a bit closer and almost found the dip over the wall and back down in time to challenge Colin, but just couldn't get the dip that he required, and it flew high into the Harbury Lane end. Martin then fizzled into the path of Anderson, who's taken it really well in his chest, but unluckily for him, Ryan Fryatt is across to take the possession off of the Leamington striker. Here's Sharif. Morrison finds the feet of Edwards brilliantly. Edwards just runs out of room. Simeon May looked to be away past the Kettering Town back line. And there's a bit of afters here between Simeon May and Connor Johnson. Johnson, who has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. The challenge came in from Fryatt, and I think Simeon May just felt that Connor Johnson left something on him there as he jumped over him, and May was very quick to react to Johnson. Well, there was definitely something in there, wasn't there? And Connor Johnson looks to be like a very lucky boy at the moment. Kettering still flexing their muscles, still gritting their teeth and digging in, not just here to make up the numbers. Stevens with this corner kick. It's in towards Fryatt, and it's Johnson with the header. And Weaver, at the second time of asking, managed to gather and maintain his clean sheet. Morley fires it high and long down the community stadium pitch. Fryatt meets it with his instep, and Sharif could benefit here. First time strike! It's beaten Weaver, but it's also beaten off the post. How unlucky are Kettering Town, and that man, Dakari Sheriff, who's been threatening all evening. He's looked to be the only bright spark in that Kettering Town team. Brilliant technique with the effort, just to watch it all the way down. He had Weaver beaten, but just couldn't find the inside of the post, and is so unlucky to see it ricochet off the outside of Jake Weaver's goal and behind for a goal kick. And it's just not Kettering Town's evening in the FA Trophy, is it? Weaver. It's up towards English. English has done well to pick up the loose ball and skip away from the challenge. Josh Martin is arriving on this near side the right. Gittins has made the run beyond the Kettering Town defence. There's the ball attempted to find him. Well cut out by Anderson. Kennedy, a heavy touch from him, presents Danny Wardren with an opportunity to strike on goal. And as Kennedy caught Wardren late, he has. And Kennedy is the second Kettering man to be sent for an early shower. Muted complaints about this one, though. I think Kennedy knew exactly what he'd done wrong as soon as he slid into the challenge. Just overplayed the ball, a heavy touch. Meant he had to stretch to try and retain possession and just caught Danny Wardren on the follow-through. And it goes from bad to even worse for Kettering. Down to 9 men. And staring defeat in the face as their FA Trophy lives look to be over for this season. Anderson with the throw in towards Stevens. He is fired. The 9 men of Kettering playing for pride more than anything else now find themselves 3-0 down in the closing stages as Waldron picks up the ball in front of his own technical area and does really well on the floor to ride the challenges of Storer. Receives the ball back off of Joe Clark, who can now stretch his legs down the left flank. Cuts inside, let's fly! Beaten away by Colin. A save that again had to be made by the Kettering Town goalkeeper. Anderson keeps the move alive for Leamington. Gittins. Meredith. Gittins again. He's got Stevens for company. Across the face of goal. Picked up by Taylor. Can he get the shot away? Deflected. Still not away by Kettering. And finally Stevens completes the clearance. And Kettering at the moment just hanging on to that 3-0 scoreline by the skin of their teeth. Meredith picks up for Leamington. Clark. Ings just found a pocket of space and is caught very late by Connor Johnson, who could be in trouble here. Kettering could be in danger of finishing the game with 8 men, and indeed they will do. Connor Johnson, the 3rd man to see red. And well, that is just the cherry on a very unpleasant cake from a Kettering point of view for this evening. Connor Johnson, the 3rd man sent for an early shower by referee Adrian Quelch. And again, it's just another reckless challenge from the centre-back. Clark. Here's Gittins. Leamington happy just to wind the clock down at this point. Anderson. Gittins. Meredith. Rolls it into the path of English, who's made the run down the channel. Taylor has got all sorts of space. Couldn't fashion the cross across the penalty area. Disappointing from Connor Taylor. Meanwhile, Waldron, is there a chance for 4 here for Leamington? Well, no, there isn't time. There's the referee's whistle, and well, this one was certainly one for the history books. An unprecedented game for an unprecedented time. It had early goals, 3 red cards, controversy, even a floodlight failure added in for good measure as the full-time whistle blows at just gone 11:15 at night. All drama aside, well, if we can cast it aside, Leamington have done the business here tonight and booked their place in the 5th round of the FA Trophy for the 2nd consecutive year. And, well, non-league football, you just couldn't write it. Kettering Town 0, Leamington 3.
So, Paul, a very interesting evening here tonight. Just try and put that game into words, really.
Yeah, it started off really well. There's no doubt about that. We've come out the blocks superbly. Got a good early goal, got a good foothold in the game. Obviously, the first sending off was. We were ruthless after that. 10 men really. It was as good as a 45 really for a while. Yeah, we did really well. Some players that have been around the fringes, like Dan Meredith, Cayman Anderson. Really good performances, which is pleasing. Listen, what's gone on from half time onwards is disappointing. For us as a football club, it's disappointing that we've had an issue here, which coincided probably 4 or 5 years ago at the same club. At the time we were losing, and you can understand their frustrations that it went on so long. But we were all sort of guided by the FA. It was the FA that were making the decisions about how long to wait, and we had an estimated arrival time, which and that they made the decisions. I understand their frustration, but obviously disappointed to start the second half. I just felt that one thing in football, you've got to be able to control yourself, you've got to be able to control your emotions, and I think there'll be there was a few attackers that went on which were poor really. Disappointing, but we tried to take the sting out of the game. We just wanted to. It's been a difficult. You get their frustration. You get what it is, and I think we just wanted to try and get through the 45 minutes and intact, and try and keep the same amount of players on the pitch. But sadly, they've ended up with 8 players, and I don't think they've given the referee much options really than that. So yeah, disappointing.
What sort of effect has this had on the players, having that long break at half time, in terms of muscle fitness and wise and stuff like that?
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult for everyone. Everyone. So it's been a difficult night, but you just got to deal with it. You got to show character. You got to show strength. And it was important that we focus. Listen, we've hung around. We've managed to come out and get a good warm up. We've had no muscle injuries in theory, so no, that was all good. You've just got to. You've just got to be mentally tough in them situations. And listen, it was such a good first half for us. It was just disappointing the way it went and all the events had gone out. And but like you say, really, really pleasing first half. Some great individual performances, some really good goals, and you're delighted to be through. And it's just been like. How long did the game last? About 3 hours in the end, was it? I don't know how long it lasted, but it's whatever. It's just a shame, really. Paul Cox and his team, they're good people, and it's just a shame it's sort of the night ended out how it has, really. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, and they don't want that, and we don't want that. And and as I said, something that was out of our control has obviously made the night very difficult. But no, we thought the players managed the situation well.
We saw Sam Osborne has now left the club as well. It was good to see that we were able to bring on other players in this position today, and it looked very strong as well. Yeah,
I touched on it there. Obviously, the competition, obviously with Taylor, Allen, and Dan being cup-tied and Lance not being quite right, it stretched us a little bit. But what it does do, it gives opportunities to one or two others, and you've got to say that again. A follow-on from Chorley, Cayman Anderson was excellent again. Dan Meredith was very good again, and every time he gets an opportunity, and that's the beauty of the squad. Boys that are coming in are keeping up them standards. So listen, it was the opportunity arose for Sam, and obviously he's they triggered his release clause, and once the player makes that his mind up, we're disappointed. We enjoyed having him here, but. Obviously, we've managed to get Dan Turner over the line. We're delighted with that. He's one we've kept an eye on for a bit, and there's also 1 or 2 young players here that are stepping up to the mark. So now, as you rightly say, pleased with 1 or 2 of the fringe players there, definitely.